Joe Biden had a meeting with civil rights leaders, and so we covered the portion on executive orders. What he said about executive orders was not good. There's also a part where he flipped out when civil rights leaders were prodding him to do more on race issues. Watch this.
Of the progress they thought they would have seen at this point. Let's not disappoint them, and let's not get to a place where voters in Georgia begin to second guess.
Okay, let me respond. I've got to go. Let me respond. There's a lot to respond to here. Let's get something straight. You shouldn't be disappointed. What I've done so far is more than anybody else has done this far. Okay? Number one. Number two, I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I'm the only person who's ever run on 3 platforms that I was told could not possibly win the election, and I never ceased from it. One was on restoring the soul of this country because of what I saw happen in Charlottesville. That was it. No one else was talking about it. The words of presidents matter. Nobody else, no progressive, was talking about it. I did. My son Bo used to have an expression. He'd say, remember, Dad, home base. It ain't worth the job if I can't say what I believe. I didn't want to run this time. I ran this time because of the racist son of a gun who was president of the United States of America. That's why I ran. And you'll remember, a lot of you told me talking about the soul of America was going over people's heads. They didn't know what we're talking about. The words of a president matter. What a president says matters. And you've never seen me shy away. In the middle of the debate, I called him a racist. In the middle of the debate with him, I took on white supremacists. I'm the guy that took on every single time somebody was threatened in this country. The only white boy you know who did it, period, out there. Every single time. So look, all I'm saying here is, guys and ladies, we're on the same exact page. The same exact page.
He goes on to say, and he was angry as he was saying it, he was like, you do know that the Hispanic population is growing a lot, and there are more of them than there are of you all, and so you're going to have to learn to work with them. And that really is an insight into how he sees these issues. The way Joe Biden sees these issues now is the classic, stereotyped neoliberal way of viewing these issues, which is like, hey, what more do you want? I'm putting you guys in my administration, and I'm calling Trump racist. So I'm the perfect president on these issues. As if like the end-all be-all to black voters, working class people of color is like, hey, let's make sure we have people of color in the administration who then turn around and continue the status quo. No, because the status quo isn't good enough. So he got mad. He said, you shouldn't be disappointed. I've done more than anybody. I like when he said, I'm the only white boy who's done this. He says, you shouldn't be disappointed. I've done more than anybody. Then he goes on to explain, I ran on restoring the soul of the country. I ran on Charlottesville. And here's his main thesis. Quote, the words of the president matters. See, Joe Biden genuinely believes that probably the biggest part of his job is virtue signaler in chief. So if he goes out there and he's like, racism is bad, racism is a scourge, Trump is a racist, and diversity is awesome. If he goes out there and says those things, he views that as equal to actual progressive governance that materially improves lives of people of color and all working Americans. He thinks that that's like part and parcel of his job is to just be the national cheerleader and soothsayer and the person who's like, hey, racism is still bad, okay? And the words of the president matters. And it's just like, no, that's not really the important part of your job. The important part of your job is legislation, is fighting to implement a policy agenda. That's the thing about your job that really, 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 really matters. but he thinks like just saying the right things substitutes for a policy agenda that improves lives. And then also, remember his record, guys. This is a guy who gave a eulogy at a famous segregationist funeral. I think it was Strom Thurmond. He worked with segregationists on busing. You know, like, he's not even what he's currently portraying himself as being. There was a time when his record was abysmal on these issues. But it really is telling, isn't it, that his view is like, I'm putting you guys in the administration, you guys meaning powerful neoliberal black people, I'm putting you guys in the administration, like, what more do you want? I'm putting you in the administration, and I'm calling Trump racist, and I'm saying racism is bad. Mission accomplished, right? No, actually, not even close to mission accomplished. How about raising wages for people of color and for all Americans? How about doing that? You don't want to do that? How about getting health care for black Americans? How about that? How about that? How about ending the racist drug war that you helped facilitate? You wrote the crime bill. You locked up more brown and black people than arguably anybody in American politics today. But again, he thinks if I just say the right things, that substitutes for action. I'm saying Trump is racist and Trump is bad and racism is bad and I'm putting you in my administration, so shh. How could you be mad at me? It says a lot about Joe Biden. And remember, he already admitted in this same call, I'm not going to flex executive authority as much as you want me to. That means no executive orders on things that he views as borderline in terms of the constitutionality of it. God, it's so ugly. I hate this, man. I hate this. Credit to Ryan Grimm for getting this video, the call with civil rights leaders. And yet again, Joe Biden is exactly who we thought he was.